Um, you're gonna get attacked. You understand? If you're gonna get attacked, if you're doing this Jesus stuff, you know, be careful who you let in your life. Be careful. It's okay. It's all right. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay, right? The attacks don't feel good, bro. It don't feel good, but you keep going, right? Why? Because you got to. I mean, what you gonna do? Quit? You gonna get the devil what he wants? You know what I'm saying? It can be easy to look at God and say, wow, where were you in this situation when I was getting attacked? But you gotta trust him. He knows best. You don't. You understand? Which means, no matter what happens to you, watch this, God allowed it to happen to you. So if he's allowing it, that means, watch this, that he's gonna use it to work together for your good. Because it's Jesus. You understand? If the attack was enough to jack you up permanently and jack you up forever, he, not to his children, right? He wouldn't allow it to happen to his children. He never, no. He knew this was going to happen to you before it happened to you. Whatever attack you might be thinking about. Because attacks you're probably going to get attacked every day, right? He knew this was going to happen to you before it happened to you, right? And he allowed you to talk to that person or to encounter that person, or for them people to do that to you, or for that church to do it. He knew. And he said, that's cool, I'm going to let it happen, right? So the fact that he said, I'm going to let it happen, should give us the confidence, peace, and right? And assurance that we going to be good. We going to be Gucci, right? We just got to hold on. You know, if you ask God for wisdom, which you should be every day, I recommend, right? James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will not rebuke you for asking, but he will give it to you if your faith is in him alone. It also says, the more wisdom Solomon got, the more sorrow, the more knowledge, the more grief. And you got to think of it like getting in the weight room. No pain, no gain, right? If lifting weights never felt made your muscles sore or never felt kind of hard to do, shoot, everybody would be swole. Oh my God. Or whatever, right? But no, you got to put in the work, right? You gotta say, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna drive to this gym, I'm gonna pick up the weight, I'm gonna walk in the building, knowing that I'm about to go through some stress and straining on my muscle. I'm gonna pick up the weight, I'm gonna lift the weight, I'm gonna keep lifting the weight, I'm gonna lift it again, I'm gonna lift it again, I'm gonna lift it again. And then I'm gonna walk out of there and I'm gonna look up in a year and I'm gonna be looking like David Hasselhoff. Right? That's what we decide to do. Same way with gaining wisdom, right? You're gonna ask God for wisdom. Lord, please give me wisdom. Why? Because getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. Proverbs 4:7, right? And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. So in Ecclesiastes, look, Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, using a dull axe requires great strength. So sharpen the axe. That's the benefit of wisdom. It helps you succeed. So if you ain't stupid, you're gonna be seeking wisdom, right? If you're wise, you're gonna be doing the wise thing you can do. You're gonna be trying to do the wise thing you can do, right? Often, right? Which is getting wisdom, and comes from God. And guess what? When He drops it on you, because He's probably gonna do you the same as He did me, which is drop it on you in increments. So He'll do a little one day, a little another day. He might wait a couple of days. Then He'll drop something big on you in 4 days. And then He'll drop something even bigger on you in a month. And then He'll drop you increments. And you might just get wisdom from just staying in a hard situation. You might come out, you're going to get wisdom from that. It's going to be wisdom coming to you. But look, if you thought it was going to be easy, right? I'm here to break it to you. No pain, no gain, right? You know how many times I get wisdom and I'm like, that kind of stung. The more God reveals to me about how my skin color affects how people view me, even people who claim to serve Jesus, right? Which is all about loving your neighbor as yourself. Even people like that, right? He keeps revealing to me, Corey, this is the reality. This is the reality, bro. And it stings a little bit, right? Like, wow, you preach on Sunday, but you racist. Wow, you go to church every week, but you racist. Wow. And look, am I saying everybody, right? Some people, sin is sin, right? But it affects me. Racism affects me a lot. And then He drops wisdom on me just about the world, right? How twisted it is. And then He'll drop wisdom on me from the Word, right? Talking about the flesh, the spiritual, the devil, and sometimes, like I said, just like Solomon said, it comes with sorrow, right? You start looking at this world like, wow, these people out here really feel me burning here. Oh my God. You feel me burning, right? You start looking at the world thinking, wow, so I do the right thing and now it's hard for me to have friends. But when I do the wrong thing, then everybody like me. But if you gave me $1 million and made my Instagram blow up, then everybody want to be my friend again, right? It's like, wait a second. So you wanted to be my friend when I was living right for the devil. Then I started living for Jesus, and my bank account stayed the same basically. And then everybody, right? And then nobody messed with me. But if my bank account increased while I was doing Jesus stuff, then y'all try to be my friend again. It's like, wait a second, bro. You start looking at humanity like, wow. Oh, this is why I make it, right? That, you know what I be thinking? No wonder God got me making these videos. No wonder, right? That's one thing that going through all this stuff always remind me of. Corey, why you think, I feel like God be looking at me saying, Corey, why you think I got you making these videos, bro? If the world was just such a great place, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? then I wouldn't have you making these videos. If everybody was just righteous, right? Why the heck would I have you preaching about Jesus 250 times a day on Instagram, right? 8 times a day on YouTube. Oh my God, 12 times a day on TikTok. Why would I have you doing this stuff? If everybody was just righteous and this was just everything was just going the way it's supposed to go, but no, we need help, right? I needed it, so I can't judge other people. This is part of the reason why my heart be going out to people who living in sin and lost, bro. I actually try to help the people who, the people that a lot of y'all Christians would be. And I don't know if y'all really Christian, the people who think like this, but how a lot of y'all Pharisee type of Christians will be turning your nose up at, saying, filthy, disgusting, wicked fool, right? My heart be going out to them people. Those are the type of people I take time out my day to tell my story to, right? Try to connect with them, trying to see where they head at, try and challenge them, give them some seeds to. And hopefully, and then I pray over it, thinking, I'll tell them some, right? God has gifted me in preaching, right? So I preach them a little bit in a loving way, not like demanding, but challenging them in their faith, right? Right, and then I say, you know what, that's just right, and then I pray for those seeds that I planted, right, to harvest into something. And that's out of my control at that point, right? That's between the person and God, but right, them the people I stop. I say, you know what? I could just leave right now with and say, oh, it seems like this dude just is too far gone. No, but I say, but I think to myself, you know what? Let me tell them what I've been through, right? Let me tell them that I graduated high school from rehab. Yeah, that one gets people, right? And you know what's deep? That was probably an attack from the enemy, right? The devil probably, right? Yeah, the devil probably wanted me, right? Got me graduate high school from rehab thinking it was going to be the enemy, right? Thinking it was going to be the end of me, right? But God said, oh yeah, I'm going to use that too. That's going to be part of your testimony. So that people who think, oh, this dude don't know nothing. Oh, he ain't been through nothing. People looking at me crazy like, you graduated high school from rehab? I'm like, yeah, I said it. And I used to worship the devil. So like I said, don't look at me acting like you too far gone, right? And don't you dare look at me acting like, right? There ain't it, right? Because you see me now. So don't be acting like the G stuff don't work either. You see me sober, you see me with my sanity, you see me thriving, prospering, you see me succeeding, you see me getting wealth, you see me getting blessings, you see me getting changing lives. So what's the answer, right? And then I showed you people the car crash, right? One of them, because there was two. And I said I was in there and I came out without a scratch. And then I look at the people with a dead straight in face and say, right? I mean, here you go. What you want to do? I mean, it doesn't go like that exactly, but that's like, that's kind of like what I kind of do, right? And I just challenge them in a loving way, right? I don't demand them to make a decision in the moment because I know me. When I came to Jesus, it took time for me to get to where I am now, right? So I think to myself, I say, okay, hopefully what I said in my prayers, I'll come back to them in a couple years, and I'll see a difference, and I'll see them, and I'll see the fruit of me planting that seed, right? Taking time out my day, right? Them the people I target, right? This is also why I make music and I feature Juice WRLD and I feature XXXTentacion and I use artificial intelligence versions of them and make them and manipulate it to where I make them rap Christian. Yeah, I got Juice WRLD rapping Christian on my track. XXXTentacion rapping Christian. Drake rapping Christian. People might look at me like, why the heck you got a Drake feature? Why you got a Juice WRLD feature? Because I'm trying to reach the lost. And your little, right, church service ain't gonna help with a lot of these people, right? You know how many people don't go to, bro, I see a common thing with people who don't believe in Jesus. Watch this, and not the pagans, the people went to church when they was a kid, and they stopped going, and they don't believe and they ain't living for Jesus no more. You know what they always say? I don't rock with church. Nah, that stuff jacked up. Now, we could go Bible and say, well, the Bible says in Proverbs that the wicked despise the godly. Proverbs 29:27. The righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly. So that might be part of it, right? But some of it might be that these people really got jacked up experiences at church from frauds in the church, right? It's probably a combination of both, right? Let's just do better, right? Okay, I'm done.